Alright, so I'm here with JK Design or Julian. So, welcome to the second episode.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
So, you want to give a little introduction before we get started?
Um, yeah, sure. Let's see. I we're out on a walk right now, and I hope video quality will be okay. But um, yeah, I guess I just wanted to come on here and be interviewed by you because it seems like a cool project, and you're interviewing some cool guys in the community. Um, so yeah, I'm just sort of new to Colorado and began making my knives here in Colorado more so than when I was in the Bay Area. So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of the goal, moving to Colorado, is get some more space so I could really make my shop. And so far,
Nice.
so good.
That's really cool. I'm glad it's
Yeah.
working out for you. It's really cool to see that, you're pursuing it.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to all you guys, really.
Mm-hmm. So, how long have you been into balisongs?
I've been into them a while. My aunt got me my first one. It was probably 10, 15 years ago. Um, she got me just a crappy Chinese made. It had some wood inlays. It was a cool Bali.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I actually got arrested for that, for having that Bali with me when
Well
I was a
then.
kid. Yeah. So
Damn.
that one got confiscated, unfortunately.
So you've been into them for quite a while then, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't flipping or anything. I don't know. I like knives, and
Mm-hmm.
liked all the different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, flipping wise and making them, it's only been 2, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I
Cool.
guess started in 2017.
Nice. So what was your first like quality balisong, like a decent, like name brand balisong?
I think I got a Alpha Beast first from my buddy Joe. I still owe him $400 for that, actually.
Nice. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a big step for like a first knife, like a first
Yeah,
quality
I
knife.
trashed that knife. That knife is seriously trashed. I just like redid it the other day. I like blackened it and got it all hooked up again. So it's in good shape once more.
Hmm. That's cool though. Like the fact that you can do that. But yeah, Alpha Beasts are like really good beaters though. So it's
Yeah,
definitely a good
yeah.
first pick if you can afford it.
Right, right. Yeah, the tip on that thing is super sturdy. So
Hmm.
taking some hits, but it keeps going.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this is interesting for a person who makes a lot of people's grails, including my own. What is your grail, like Balisong? Whether you own it or not, but what is your grail?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It can be
It
more
would
than one if
definitely
you have
be
more than one.
yeah, it would definitely be like a custom. I'm thinking like some of the stuff John has done, John Sorensen,
Mhm.
some of his regrinds with probably a Hom Valley, like a basilisk, would be super cool. Actually, Joseph has one of those too, so that's kind of
Nice.
high on the list.
Cool.
Um, Stuff. Matt Cook is super cool. Um, he came by my table at Blade West. That was actually my first show, and he came by and we were talking a little bit. So I got love for that guy.
Mhm.
Um, his five of diamonds would be pretty cool to have.
That would be pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, mainly just things that are tied to people that I like. I've always liked Jerry Holmes knives. I bought one of his at Blade Show last year.
Mhm.
Um,
Jerry's really
yeah, and then
cool.
yeah, he's a cool guy. And then I traded that for a Chimera. It was a Tempest Elite, so I traded that for a Chimera. So I have one of those now too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mhm. So do you have like a specific favorite like maker or Bali company?
No, I have a favorite knife company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that would be John Grimsmo Knives. I was, interested in CNC and things like that for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and all the videos that him and Eric put out early on, they were really influential in the way that I wanted to start making knives. It sort of fit with the way that I roll. So
Mm-hmm.
those guys, I've been talking to John a little bit about machinery in the shop, and he's been really helpful. I would definitely say he's a favorite.
Nice. It's cool that there's like a community like for makers, you know, the way that you can talk to each other and learn things from each other.
Definitely. Yeah, it's super cool.
Because like obviously the main surface level stuff you'd see are either flippers or collectors, right? You don't really see much about the makers behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, those videos, like those YouTube videos that they were putting out for a while, it sort of made it a comfortable place to just like, I don't know, to take the face, the mystery away from it. And he put a face to his company, and he's just a good guy, and so
Mm-hmm.
um, that sort of took that element out of it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I guess that would be one of my favorites. I really love the machining that Shirogorov does on their folding knives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I initially got into this to make a folding knife, which I did and subsequently got bored of and switched to Balis. So
Nice, nice. Well, that's definitely
uh,
working out a lot better, I'd say.
yeah. Balis are fun for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your favorite knife that you've made personally?
Dang. Let's see.
Tough question, I know.
Yeah. There's a few knives that come to mind, but I guess I would say the Light Tech that has dragon skin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Light Tech with dragon skin and Timascus and carbon fiber. That one is up there. Maybe my first Bali. I forget who has that, but it was my first emissary that I sold.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of them, because
Nice.
that just opened the floodgates to Balis, and people were really into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely like a sentimental thing there.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
Uh,
Because yeah, the Light Tech is my personal grail, like of all grails.
really? Yeah.
Yeah. A pink
What
one.
makes you prefer it to like something more robust like the Monarch?
I don't know, honestly, like everything from like the lightness to the way that it looks while it flips and just like the general styling of it really like hits me, you know, it like resonates with me to a certain degree. Um,
Yeah,
like
that's
you
awesome.
know Red Flipper?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, watching him flip the light tech made me is the biggest reason why I fell in love with the light tech in the first place.
Yeah, he kills it for sure.
Yeah, watching that thing move is just insane.
I appreciate it.
Hmm. So
Right
yeah,
on.
like a pink one or like a jade one would is like up there for me.
Yeah. Hopefully one day we'll be able to get you one somehow.
Hmm. That'll definitely be like the dream, yeah.
That's awesome. What are the laws like in Malaysia? Can you have Balis there?
It's kind of like a gray area. Like if you ship it like disassembled or separated, it's not like they don't confiscate it. And it's not illegal to own them, it's illegal to carry them, however. So if you're collecting
Okay.
them and stuff, it's okay, but obviously like bringing it outside or concealed carry or flipping it is not so legal.
Yeah.
Trainers are completely fine though, so it's definitely like in between. It's not the worst, but in terms of live blade, it's not the best. But you can definitely own them and collect them.
Right. Yeah, it's similar in the U.S. for sure.
Hmm.
Depending on where you're at, obviously. And
Oh yeah, it really
I'm from
varies from state to state.
Right. I was from California, which is just the worst.
I've heard,
So
yeah.
that's why I got in trouble there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else you wanna like ask me or say anything before we move on to the community questions?
Yeah, no, let's move on to the other questions. I'm
All
ready
right,
for
cool.
them.
All
Yeah.
right. So, John Videk asks, do you prefer steel or tie pivot screws?
Definitely steel if possible, but yeah, so a lot of my making is based on aesthetics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I'm into, and you could always throw steel screws in your knife if you need, but I do use a lot of titanium just because of the finish options, and I like to finish the screws, you know.
Mm-hmm. It really adds like an extra layer of depth to it and it kind of works with it. And you do that really well aesthetically. Like every time I see a new light tech out, it blows me away.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
There's a lot of
Yeah, I'm a
variety
nerd.
you come out with. It's really cool. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, that's something that I wish I could do better at. So I've got a couple new models coming soon.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
I'll definitely be on the lookout for that.
sweet.
Okay, Trix asks, how come you never told us about being a god tier skater?
um, yeah, there was a few skater questions in there.
Mhm.
I'll probably just answer them all at once.
Okay, I'll
So,
say the other two real quick then. James
okay.
Hill asks, how long ago were you a professional skater? And Calvia the Human asks if you had anything to add on your skating career and what other hobbies you've had.
Okay, great. So with the skating, I was really into that for many years. Ever since I was 8 or 9 years old, I was just a skate rat my whole life, and it became a career for me. So I was sponsored by various companies and wanting to become a professional and everything.
Mhm.
And it's sort of a bittersweet thing, which is why I didn't go around announcing it. Um, it's something I've sort of had to come to peace with because I was so into it and it just took a toll on my body and I wasn't able to continue. Um, I have like a tumor in one of my feet from it and arthritis all over the place. So,
Man, that sucks.
yeah, I just had to give it up. And honestly, with the last question, I was always into making stuff and designing. So
Mhm.
I feel like I'm better at that than I was at skateboarding. So I sort of just made the decision to do what I'm better at,
Mhm.
and it was a tough decision to make. But yeah, I'm really happy at how it ended up and where I'm at now with it.
Yeah,
So
that was a good decision overall.
yeah, I think so. My feet would have fallen off sooner than later if I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
I,
like when did you stop skating? Like how long ago?
Well, I'm actually still skating these days. I took a couple years off and let my body heal a lot, and sort of got over not being able to do it as a career. So
Mhm.
I'm more at peace with it now, and so I can keep doing it. Light impact, no more big rails and stairs and stuff. So
Yeah. Okay. So you
um,
can still skate like for fun, like more casually.
yeah, I might go and skate with my buddy today, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's good to see that you can still skate though. It's definitely like good to have that, option in the first place.
Definitely. I get really into it and I gotta just tone it back when I'm doing it because, um, I can just get too into it and start grinding big rails and everything and then get hurt again. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Octavio asks, what did you want to be before you thought of knife making? was there anything else besides knife making and skateboarding?
No, there wasn't. So it was just the skateboarding. As I was sort of getting out of skateboarding, I got myself into a program at San Francisco State, which was their industrial design program and product development. So I started learning a lot about that stuff and, 3D modeling and the design process. And yeah, when I was a junior, I was just bored in school and unsure what to do. So I started making little EDC pieces, bottle opener, single finger knuck deals. And I sold a lot of those, made a bunch of them and sold a ton of them. So I was able to stop outsourcing to a water jet and buy a CNC machine and buy a house. So I just came to Colorado and got all of that straight, and that's when I started making the knives. I always wanted to make knives as I was making the EDC style stuff. So I was actually making a lot of those Talon fixed blades that I posted a picture of one the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I probably made like a good 100 of those before I moved to Colorado and started with the Balis. So
it's really cool that you could really start on the Balis though.
Yeah,
you can really progress from it. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I sort of wanted to get all my techniques down on the other stuff before I moved on to the better knives. So I think it worked out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Daksa Pramana asks, where did you learn to make knives? Any specific places or any specific ways that you learned?
Yeah, so a lot of it was just trial and error and feeling it out. And when I got here to Colorado and bought the CNC machine, that was a super steep learning curve to figure that thing out. But I got some help from my buddy Nick Swan. He's a knife maker as well, and pretty local to me, just a couple cities over. So yeah, I was going to his house. He was teaching me stuff about how to make folding knives. And that really helped me out and got me started on the right foot. And yeah, it's just sort of trial and error from there, figuring out how to make the machine do what you want, really.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
Kid Tempura and Chubby Snack 88 both ask, what was the first knife that you made?
The first knife I made was one of those Talon fixed blades. I still have it today. Yeah, I'll throw a picture of it up on my story.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely cool to see those as well. Like, I see them pop up once in a while, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I'll put a picture up on my story so people can see it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a question from me. Have there been any Balisong prototypes that we haven't seen besides the new ones that you mentioned? Have there been any scrapped prototypes or anything?
Yeah, there have. Yeah, I was making let's see, back in California, actually, I was getting into the Balis with Deranged Donkey on Instagram. I don't know if you know about him, but he does awesome wood and resin pours to make material blocks, I guess you would say. So he was really into Balis, and we designed them together, and I still have 2 of those that we made. And then a couple other Balis that I made that just didn't work out at all. So yeah, I was planning on finishing those up actually, and now that I know more about it and just keeping them kind of special. They're really bad off right now.
That'd be really cool to see, though, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a prototype Monarch, and we sold that recently. And yeah, I feel kind of bad about that because the guy wanted like the first prototype, and we got him the first prototype that we had, but we had some other spare parts, and I built a Monarch that was even earlier than that one. So I have this really early Monarch, um,
Nice.
and it has like smaller logos and no chamfers on one of the handles. It's super rough, but it's super cool. Yeah.
Okay, one more question from me personally. What was it like collabing with Joe to make the Monarch?
Well, Joe's the best, so it was awesome. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was super cool. Like, I guess he had been a collector and a flipper for a long time, and I had the emissary going at the time, and just as I learned more about flipping and wanted to make something different, it was like the perfect timing. So I just hit him up saying, "Let's make the best knife ever, dude, and let's make it pinless," and we went for it.
Well, I mean, according to a lot of people that I know that have flipped a Monarch, they say it is the best. So I mean, you guys did pretty
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it without him, you know? He couldn't have done it without me. It's like when two minds come together, a lot can happen. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd encourage anybody else to collaborate with a good friend.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's cool to see like more collaboration works like this. Because
Yeah,
I feel a lot
yeah,
of makers, they tend to, stay in their own space, their own lane, and just do their own designs. They never really branch out to work with other
right,
people.
totally.
Yeah, so it's really cool to see.
Yeah, yeah. Joe's a great dude, and we've got a knife coming out. His new design and the blade is just super epic. So,
Yeah.
um, he's gonna have a new knife coming soon, after all this Corona stuff, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Vargas flips us, how much time goes into making a new knife design?
Yeah, I saw that one. So, I don't just sit down and like design a knife until I'm ready. Like, I'll have an idea in my head, and it'll take like 6 months to really get ironed out in my head, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, um, I sort of let my subconscious handle it. I don't really force it or anything, which that's been my the biggest key to coming up with designs is just not forcing it and just letting it gel in the back of your mind.
It's cool, so it
And
kind of just
then,
comes to you.
yeah, and then when you're ready, you could just lay it all down just in one day, you know?
That's really cool, actually. I didn't think it was that way, because, like, obviously different people have different ways of doing it.
Right.
But it's really cool to see, like, you can do that. Just have the idea and just throw it out there.
Yeah, it's like a kind of an organic idea, I think. And I used to really beat myself up, and I just learned that I can just let it happen. It's not going to happen before it's ready, you know? So, um, yeah, the subconscious is powerful, I'd say.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm curious, which knife design took the longest to make? Let's say out of the three, the Monarch, the Light Tech, and the Emissary, which one took the longest?
Um, the longest to make or design?
Design.
Yeah.
Or were they all roughly the same?
I guess the light tech took longest. Me and Joseph, since we were working together on the Monarch, we were really able to pass thoughts back and forth and get each other's brains moving.
Hmm.
So that was a motivating way to do it. And Yeah, then we came and just designed the knife. You know, that knife took attributes from my previous knives, like the blade shape and everything.
Hmm.
So we were able to just kind of lay that one down pretty easily too, after talking about it for 4 months or something, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then the light tech took a long time because I was just busy with other stuff, like making monarchs, and yeah, I wasn't focused on it for a while.
Okay, cool. Do you remember like
Yeah.
roughly how long it took? Like a rough time frame?
Yeah, the light tech I think took about a year because
Wow.
because I had the idea before we even started on the Monarch. And
Cool.
so yeah, that one really got a lot of time to gel.
Nice. It's definitely been worth it though. The light tech is a lot of people's favorite knives, again, including my own. So it's definitely like paid off in that, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that, you know. I'm flipping one myself right now.
Oh, cool. You carry your own
Yeah.
around or?
Yeah, this was one of the first knives that I kept for myself, just because I really liked flipping it, or
Hmm.
flipping all of the ones that I was selling.
That's, yeah, it's
So,
cool that you have your own. It's definitely nice to like have one, you know.
yeah, I just got myself an OG emissary as well. I had to buy it from a guy, um,
That must have
and I
felt
like
weird, huh?
yeah, it was a weird purchase, but I just wanted one, and so now I need a Monarch. I've yet to save myself a Monarch.
Hmm. Well, soon you'll have the entire trilogy.
Hopefully so, yeah.
Hmm. Okay, this is one I've been curious about. Joshua L asked, why and how did you decide on the unique bolster and scale design for the light tech?
That was just purely driven off the aesthetics of the original emissary, and just wanting to make something more complex. So it just has the bolsters match the frag pattern on the end of the original emissary handles, and yeah, I don't know, that kind of just presented itself as an idea, and I don't know. When I was designing it, I was thinking to myself I was insane because there's like 15 machined parts that I would have to make, and I don't know why I just felt the need to go for it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely
Um,
an eye-catching knife because it looks complex. Like, because when I first saw Red Flipper's light tech, you know, with like the silver bolsters and like the kind of reddish brown
yeah,
finish, yeah, it really
yeah,
popped out. But the first thing that I thought of was like, how was that made? And it was very like complex looking, and it was definitely eye-catching.
yeah. That's good to hear. Um, yeah, I don't spend much time in the community talking to people about what they like about my knives or anything. Um, so it's interesting to hear the thoughts behind that stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I especially like just the general feel of it. Like it's hard to explain, but you know how like knives have certain feels, like some feel very mechanical, some feel very like organic. There's like an in between there
Yeah,
as well. Yeah, like
yeah,
the the light tech just has a certain feel to it that catches my attention every time.
yeah. That's interesting. It's funny. I like all these blade shapes that I come up with are really like organic and space looking, spacey. You know, they're not like. But I have like a tactical theme going too, so it's an interesting mesh between like hard, gritty, tactical with an organic edge, I suppose.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So last question is from Jack Piatti Pyro and Peach Blood. So they asked, did you take inspiration for the Monarch blade shape from the stitched steel alien blade or any other blades?
My favorite question.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that's a whole funny story. I guess I won't get into the words me and Stitch Steel had about that, but Yeah, no, I didn't even know of the Alien. There's only like 10 or 15 of them even out, right? So I
Yeah,
had
I
no
think so.
idea. I had never heard of it. It's the Alien looks like a Tonto to me with I guess that the reason he's really concerned is the point on the top of the spine potentially, I don't know. But yeah, I did get inspiration for that blade from my buddy Nick Swan, a small Bowie, what do they call those? Oh, a slip joint that he made.
Oh,
So it was
nice.
actually from a Bowie profile that I got a Tonto profile inspiration. Um,
Cool.
and I never told Nick that, but maybe I will.
Cool. You can definitely just like link him to this part.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but
he's
that's
been a really helpful guy, and he does great designs. He learned a lot of his stuff from Richard Rogers, who is also in Colorado, I believe. So yeah, Nick was always really helpful about just spreading the love and growing the community rather than keeping shit to yourself, you know.
hmm
Um, so yeah, I really took a lot of inspiration from him early on.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I had to get away from the whole Stitch Steel thing because that guy just kept talking a bunch of shit to anybody that had a Monarch, you know. So
Ooh, yeah, that's why this came up in the first place. It was
right.
definitely interesting to like I'd never heard of this.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny if you ask me. Like the blades don't look too similar, my opinion, but um, it is a Tonto.
Indeed it is.
Yeah.
Okay, actually we have one more question. It is from Tintiro. He asked, "Do you ever plan to make a more affordable flipper?"
Yeah. So yeah, I've been kind of fighting with myself because I want to keep everything made by me in house rather than outsourcing parts. But if I did go through someone, you know, like a lot of the big makers do, then I could get cheaper knives out there. But it's kind of a goal of mine to not do that and to just keep it all my own stuff. So I'm in the process of buying a bigger shop right now,
Ooh,
and
nice.
yeah, I'm gonna get more machinery and everything, and it might take a while, but I hope to have some cheaper stuff out there. And I've got a trainer coming that's gonna be cheaper for sure.
Nice.
So
Actually, yeah,
yeah,
speaking of
that should be
trainers,
good.
did you I can cut this out if you don't want this in the like recording, but what did you think about the whole you know, the pale trainer, that whole thing? Have you heard about that?
No, actually, I haven't. What was that about?
Basically he was selling this sandwich construction titanium trainer that ran on only washers for $600 and above. He was putting it on bidding, and people went fucking nuts over it because like people were talking about boycotting Pale and like, you know,
Oh
like
my
not like
god.
banning people, like stopping people from bidding and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, like that's silly because people just don't understand that, you know, he makes his stuff by hand. So it's just not even in the same category as a trainer produced by, you know, a big company like BRS or Palm or Squid obviously produces all the trainers, but they use a lot of the similar manufacturers.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like they can crank out knives for really a great price, but when you're making a trainer or otherwise by hand, which Polypheus, that's his MO, right? So it's just gonna take a lot more work regardless of what it is. But yeah, I think it would be smart of him to kind of like be into the community and know what people are gonna throw their arms up at for sure.
Yeah, the main thing was a lot of people, including him, I believe, were like talking about how it's like more of a collector thing than a flipper thing. But obviously,
Yeah,
people were annoyed with that because if it's a trainer, the entire purpose is flipping.
yeah, yeah,
Which is
yeah.
the whole thing that people were like, a trainer on only washers for $600, are you insane? And they started like, it really sparked a lot of like back and forth between people. Some people like, there was like one guy who spent I think 700 plus on it during the bid, like the bidding session.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Auction,
people
yeah.
were shitting on him for it, saying, "Oh, he wasted his money. Oh, he has a Chioni and a Gale. Why would you do that?" and stuff.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And like those people that are worried about it, it's just not a knife for them, Like maybe a guy wants to flip, but he doesn't want to cut himself and he likes high-end shit. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree. Like this trainer that I'm making, it's definitely gonna have bushings and it's definitely gonna try to make people happy. Not, yeah, I'm trying to be more aware of the community than that for sure. But it's unfortunate that people have so much to say. Really, like
Yeah.
everyone's Instagram account is different, and everyone's doing something based on their own vision. So,
Yeah.
like, pretty much shut up and let it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are you planning to make any like trainer blades for your existing knives, or it's an entirely separate thing?
It's an entirely separate thing, and yeah, if it works, it'll be like another. I'm making another pinless channel design, and then I'm gonna make a trainer version as well, which will be made out of G10 and titanium rather than steel and titanium. So
Ooh.
it'll be different, and it'll be hopefully cheaper for me to produce, and hopefully it'll fit really well.
Hopefully, yeah. I'll look forward to seeing that as time goes on.
Yeah, thanks.
But yeah,
Um,
do you have anything else you wanna like say or ask before we wrap the recording up?
not too much. I'm
Cool.
satisfied if you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. It's definitely been nice to progress on with the series.
Yeah, great. I wish it luck.
Hmm.
Hopefully all those guys get on and have some cool stuff to say.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting with like a different range of people as well.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see it.
Hmm.
Where are you publishing the interviews?
Currently on YouTube, I plan to compress them for IGTV, like Instagram TV, and maybe
Yeah,
Spotify in an audio only version.
very cool. Nice.
Yeah,
Well, good work. Yeah, I appreciate you including me in it.
of course, yeah. Alright, thanks for coming
Right
on.
on. Yeah, thanks for the invite and have a good Sunday.
You
I
too.
guess it's nighttime over there.
Yeah. It's Monday
Yeah.
actually.
Right. All right. Well, have a good week then.
Have a good weekend, the rest of it.
All right. Thanks a lot. Take care.